and the most welcome and good evening or good afternoon or whatever else time zone you guys are in. Welcome to the live recording of this very special and different kind of event. Turn up your volume a little bit because I've set it to medium this time as opposed to when I usually sound very loud. Welcome everyone. By the title you see that tonight's topic, I'm saying tonight because it's tonight for me. I apologize if for some of you it's morning. Happy morning, your Tuesday is just beginning. The topic before me and my special guest, which actually watches me from this background that I've chosen, we're going to discuss a lot of things about Galactic Strongholds in Star Wars The Old Republic. Some of you, if you're interested in that topic, or if you follow my YouTube activities for long enough, you might remember for more than 2 years ago that I've actually created and published a 40+ minute long video tutorial about the Galactic Strongholds. This was during the PTS beta event before the release of the expansion, which thanks to my host, which name I'm still keeping secret for whatever reason, I've just reminded myself that it happened the summer of 2014. Since then, I've pretty much done nothing to my own stronghold, and I've not expanded my knowledge about the strongholds. I've not been keeping a close eye on what things have changed and how much the stronghold experience has been improved. That is one of the main reasons why this event here is happening right now, because I want to catch up, I want to learn new things. I'm proud to say for myself that there aren't many things about this game that someone else can teach me how to do, or things that I don't know how to do myself and haven't done myself. Well, decorating and strongholds are actually two probably different things combined into one giant topics, and I'm very new to this even though I own a stronghold, and some of you have probably seen how well I've decorated, and I'm air quoting here, how well I've decorated my own stronghold. It doesn't look very pretty, but it serves the purpose why it is there, and it actually does the job that I need it to do. I've been opening hyper crates for more than half a year now, and every time I see a decoration in the cubes, I'm cursing because I consider it crap. That's not true, and many of you have already probably cursed me for not caring about decoration and interior design for the Galactic Strongholds. Well, I'll probably not start paying huge attention from the next hypercrate that I open to these decorations, because I'm still not going to be a decorator myself, or a interior designer if you will, even though I kind of do that in the real life, so it's kind of strange why exactly I don't like it in a game, but that's probably a topic for a different time. We're going to divide this event into 3 parts probably. The first one will be introduction and basic conversation about the noobish things related to the strongholds, and this will happen on this basic static screen that you see. Second part will be demonstration involving gameplay of what kind of decorations you can find in the game, how to find them, how to look for decorations what is the word? Outsourcing, or not the outsourcing, but searching from foreign sources outside of the game is what I mean to say. How to find what decoration belongs to what cartel market pack, or what operation drops this cool picture or frame or something else. And in the third part, which I consider to be hopefully the most interesting and the most entertaining for all of you, especially those of you who are experienced and veteran decorators yourself, Jessie, oh, I spilled a surprise already, will do a tour for me on a few strongholds and the guild ship for her own guild, and she's going to tell us what the theme for the decorations are, what rooms have been decorated, why, where to get those special items, and of course I'm going to ask her a whole bunch of questions that I believe are important for me and you to learn, just in case we haven't learned it yet. And let's say a warm welcome and a greeting. Is it a good afternoon? I don't know. It's actually noon time for her. Hi, Jessie. How are you?
Hey, Vulkk. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much for accepting the invitation. I've already told you a few times that it's been a dream of mine for a very long time to have someone help me with this, because I can never do it on my own. Obviously, because we have to start with this. For those one or two people who are watching the video and don't know who Jessie Stardust is, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you? Why do you like this game? And what keeps you in the game for so long?
Okay, well, so yeah, I'm Jessie Stardust, also known as Unholy Alliances on Twitter. I belong to the Unholy Alliance Guild and the Wookiee Mistake Guilds on Harbinger, and I've been playing since since February of 2012, so a little bit after launch was when I discovered it. What keeps me playing are probably a variety of things and the different layers of the game. I can play socially and just do like social things and hang out with people, plan parties, do sort of fun, easy runs, flashpoint runs, and hang out with my friends and take lots of screenshots, which is a major passion of mine. But I can also do harder, more challenging content. I can do some of the operations. I can challenge myself on some of the hard mode flashpoints. And I can get myself creamed in PvP. And I can run into the side of mountains and starships in Galactic Starfighter. So there's all sorts of fun things that keep me interested in the game. But I would say overall, the overarching reason for me would be the story that BioWare has created for us and the community that we've created for ourselves.
Hey, I'm part of one of these things. That's good.
Yes, you are.
Okay, tell me a little bit about your activity with the podcast that you have started more than a year ago now. Probably that's where people would know you from, I suppose, or maybe Twitter, or maybe if they are part of your own guild on the Harbinger server.
It is true. I am part of a podcast called Passionately Casual Podcast, and we are a podcast specifically created to be a sort of a newsletter for our guild and sort of a game news, guild news sort of venue.
Sorry for interrupting. It's funny that you still believe it's just news for the guild. Yeah, I think the community is now a little bit outgrown the audience of the guild.
Well,
just a little bit.
Yeah, there are. I mean, we're very happy, delighted, in fact, that people outside of our guild have found some interest in our podcast, and some of the. I have some great co-hosts. We run the show together. I'm joined with JT, who many know from Corellian Run Radio, a very long-standing podcast in the SWTOR community. And also Sakari, who is a guildmate and a streamer of SWTOR. And I think just the three of us together is sort of like a Three's Company sort of situation, only the opposite, like two boys and a girl. I think that just that's why we have an audience. And we've also been able to get some amazing guests onto our shows. And we've been very fortunate to have some developers on the shows, a voice actor. We've had people from various charities and other community members, theory crafters, and a whole wide range of people. So we've been very, very fortunate, and it's a project that we do because we love it, and we're glad if other people like it too.
Yeah, other people do. I'm one of the many.
Thank you. Thanks. That means a lot.
I have introduced you in my announcement yesterday as a master decorator. You refused to accept that title for whatever reason. I'm glad you didn't refuse the other thing I called you in the same announcement yesterday.
What, that I'm charming?
Yeah, not just. Okay, I need to point out something about my figure and your figure in the thumbnail. I know they don't match up. It's because I really desperately wanted to show, yes, it is a lightsaber she's holding in her hand. And I really wanted to show it because I think I did a good job removing it from the background.
Yes.
And that's, plus, of course, she did an awesome job herself by putting this head on. What character is that?
So that's actually Jesinia, the character that I'm on today that we'll be doing our Stronghold tours with. So she's in game, she's got her prettier, more perfect face, but in your graphic there, she's got my actual face. So
that depends. If you remove the Natima helmet, maybe.
I'm undercover.
Right, let's get into the basics of Galactic Strongholds. Some of our viewers and listeners, because I expect this might actually serve in the form of a podcast because not everybody is willing to watch a 1 hour plus long video. Some people just listen in the background while doing other things. So let's begin with the basics of Galactic Strongholds, which again I've covered in details in an old video. But because the video is old, many new viewers actually doubt how many of the information explained and shown in that video is still accurate. So today we're going to start quickly with the basics. When was Galactic Strongholds expansion released, Jessie?
So it was originally released for early access for subscribers on August 29th, 2014. And I know that's weird that I know the specific date without even looking it up. It's because it was released on a day when I was meant to be at work, and they called me to ask me where I was. And I might have played hooky a little bit because I was so enamored of the game. I stayed home and I played it all day. And then my friends and I just stayed home and like in TeamSpeak and just went crazy. And we were just overwhelmed with joy at this new expansion. So I remember the day, but it came out for
Right.
like
you mean to say that
release.
it was a total coincidence and absolutely random that you happened to be out of work or off work?
Yeah, that is what I meant to say. And also
I think the similar coincidence, a random event is going to happen for me in the end of this month when just so it happens that the new expansion is going to launch.
Yeah, sometimes it just works out that way. It's like how the universe
Totally
is,
random,
I guess.
yeah. It's not planned at all.
But we actually got a good lead on that. Some of those early access, for coffee, we're used to like a day or a couple days of early access, or a week maybe. But this was a good long time. It was almost 2 months that we got early access, and then it went for free to play. And it is available to all free to play players. This is a feature that's not locked by subscription, and it still isn't. So it's available to everybody. And it came out in October of 2014 then for everybody.
Whoa, really?
Yes.
August was the early launch and October was the
Yes.
official launch? Huh.
Yep.
Okay.
It was like, I want to say it was about October 15th-ish. I'm not sure on that date because I went to work that day. but I know that August 29th was the early release day. And Mox knows. Mox was one of the people that I played with that day. So we were like, whoa. We're really excited about it. And I still think it's a great expansion. And I'm excited that you asked me on to talk about it. But you're right, I'm not an expert. I refused that title because I'm not really an expert in anything.
We'll leave that to the audience to judge. Come on. We have still, I don't know, so long until the end of the show. You have plenty of time to prove yourself wrong. Right. Tell us a little bit about the expansion itself. When it launched, what did it offer and who was it available to? We already said it's free to everybody, but there are some limitations. When you buy your own stronghold, which we are going to talk about in more details a little bit later, showing the quest and all. But what are the limitations with this, and what exactly do you get for free, and which part is not free?
Okay, that's a really good point that you bring up, because just like anything, there's sort of levels that you're buying into. And once you get into those galactic strongholds, and particularly some of the larger ones, you begin to see, like, you thought you bought it, but actually there's all these rooms that need to be individually locked, and it can become very costly very quickly. When it was first released, everybody who was a subscriber at that time was granted the Nar Shaddaa stronghold for free. And they were also given 5 rooms that were already opened for them. So that was a good place to start, because you had several different rooms that you could start to decorate and start to like figure out what your theme was. And then of course that's sort of like how they suck you into it, like you're like, oh wow, this is great, I wonder what's on the other side of this door. So then you start opening the other rooms, at a cost of several hundred thousand.
They gave us 5 rooms for free? I don't remember that.
Yes.
Huh.
Yeah.
Lucky me then. It shows how much I cared about the extra rooms.
Yeah, you do have that. And then the other thing that's got a low price point to get into, if you don't want to start by spending a lot of money on a stronghold, is you can go to your Capital World strongholds. So really quickly, let me just review what strongholds there that were available at launch and what is available now. So each faction got a Capital World strongholds. That would be Coruscant, of course, for the Republic, and Dromakas for the Empire. In addition, there was the Nar Shaddaa stronghold that we talked about, and the Tatooine stronghold that was available for purchase by any faction. More recently, they introduced the Yavin IV stronghold, and we'll take a look at one of those later, which is an enormous stronghold on the same scale as Tatooine, which is the larger and more expensive one to
We used
get
to
out.
describe it as a Flashpoint stronghold when it was demonstrated on a live stream. You remember that live stream when BioWare showed it off?
I do remember the live stream when they showed it off, but I don't remember it being referred to as a Flashpoint stronghold.
Well, okay, maybe just us in our guild.
Okay.
We really started talking about it in this manner, yeah. It's really big enough to be a Flashpoint on its own. If you put enough decorations in the form of characters inside, you can pretend it's actually trash pools and maybe something bigger as a boss in the end.
Well, see, I like the way you're thinking, and I think that's the way to approach strongholds, is that they can kind of be whatever you want them to be, and it's really only limited by your imagination what you do in terms of decorating them. And we'll get into that more later when we tour a couple of them and we see what people have done with the different rooms and what, how you can start thinking about them. But I do want to talk about, like, you've expressed, like, maybe this isn't really your thing, or like, why would I want to use my valuable game time to have a galactic stronghold? Like, what's really the point of that? Maybe I'm more into ops or into PvP.
The most important question.
Yeah. So why do you want this? Okay. So there's a couple of reasons that I'm able to immediately think of. A number one reason that guilds, we'll start with guilds, might be interested in this expansion was because, along with strongholds, which are like buildings or like fortresses on the ground, they also introduced guild ships with this expansion. And that was really exciting for a lot of people who had been looking for a sort of a guild headquarters, guild base, right, type of environment, like to set up basically like a space station for your guild. So that was a big exciting part. It came at a high price point. Back then, 50 million credits was a lot more than it is today. Major inflation in SWTOR. So that was really exciting for guilds. And then what they did was, with the conquest system, you actually were able to obtain conquest points in a much more rapid fashion, depending on the completion level of your stronghold. And when we look at the strongholds and how you decorate them and how you achieve completion, we'll see how you can fill that bar up to achieve 100% completion. Once you do that on the guild ship, and once you do that in your personal stronghold, when you're working towards conquest for your guild, you're actually able to get those points faster, and you're able to achieve conquest faster for your guild. So that would be one reason, like a very practical reason. Another reason, and something that was brand new with Galactic Strongholds, was the introduction of legacy storage. That was a brand new concept in SWTOR. Of course, we have our cargo holds where we're able to keep our characters' items, and we have guild vaults where we're able to put things in storage that guild members can take out, or we can have an officer's tab for prizes and that sort of thing. But legacy storage was a brand new concept for this game, and that enabled me to put something in on a character, like say on the pub side, and then take it out of that on like the Republic, on the Empire side, on a different character. And we get into binding and whether something's bind on character or bind to legacy, but it kept me from having to like mail things or remember to do that.
Yeah, I personally used to describe it for myself, the legacy tab, the legacy bank, when it was released initially. I used to describe it for myself like a glorified mailbox or a mailbox on steroids. Because it's actually a much, much bigger mailbox, and you can put things in and out all the time. You don't need to type names to send it to the special character. Just any of your characters can pick it up. And I don't know if it's good or bad, but this is still only available from your stronghold. You cannot access the legacy bank anywhere else. Or
That's correct. Right.
Is it available on the guild ship?
It is. It's available on the guild ship, a guild stronghold, which is a Capital World stronghold, or any of the strongholds actually that are available in game that's purchased by the guild, and your personal strongholds. It's not available on the fleet. It's not available in the VIP area, only on those places, and because it was part of that expansion. So you're right. In essence, it is a glorified mailbox, but it also allows you to stack items that are very useful. And for instance, for our crafters can throw all their mats in the legacy storage, and that's accessible without having to log in and pull those mats out to craft. Your crafting, like sort of the algorithm that it uses to pull crafting materials when you're building things, it goes into into your personal inventory, then into your own bank, and then into your legacy storage, like within a matter of a millisecond. It'll just pull those out, so you don't have to keep track of like where all of your pieces and parts are. Just put them in that bank and then craft away. So there's a lot of utility to the legacy bank, and that's only available through this system. So that's another reason why strongholds are important. And a reason that matters to me, because I'm a very social player and I like to do parties and functions, we do charity events, I like to have a cross-factional meeting place. And there are some planets where cross-faction activity can occur, such as Nar Shaddaa. You can meet, as a Republic player, you can meet an Imperial player down by that big gold hut, and that's fine, but you're going to have a lot of interference. You're going to have other people who are around. You can't really, if you're an RPer, can be difficult to RP, or if you just want to have an event that you're doing that's just for your group, you can't control that
Private
environment.
space for group meetings, right?
That's exactly right. So I really like that. And I like being able, because we have 2 guilds, I like to be able to have a cross-factional place where they can come and meet, like on my stronghold.
Okay.
The decorating itself, another reason to have a stronghold is the decorating itself it's actually kind of addictive, like anything else that you could get kind of like really drill down into and have fun in this game. It's one of those things. Like for the people that love achievements, there's a lot of achievements there. For people who like, aesthetics and like want to feng shui a place and make it look really pretty, or maybe they have a theme, maybe they're really into the Mandalorian lore and they want to make like a Mandalorian like enclave. They can do that because there's enough decorations and more coming out all the time that they can really really get nerdy with it and have a lot of fun decorating something that's really specific to what they love about the game. So those are some of the main reasons.
You have a lot of chances to tell us about themed decorating and special spaces or areas in the strongholds when we do the tours. What I would like to ask you, with a few words, can you describe the basic differences and the most important differences between a stronghold, a guild stronghold, and a guild ship? Why do we have 3 different things and how they differ? What you can do with the 3 of them, except, of course, decorate everything inside.
Okay, so a personal stronghold belongs to me. I'm the only one who can decorate it. I'm the only one who can grant access to it. I can only invite members of the faction I'm currently on into the stronghold. However, I can switch tunes and invite a bunch of my Imperial friends and then switch tunes back over and invite a bunch of pub tunes. But basically, it's 100% under my control. I can give keys out to my friends and they can invite people over, but they can never decorate for me, which is a shame because there's some really good decorators in here. There's nothing can be manipulated by anybody else. The guild stronghold, everybody who's in the guild gets a basic key, and they can come and go as they please to the guild stronghold. You can give them a higher level key and allow them to do some decorating too. The decorations will come from the guild pool of decorations and not their personal decorations, so they can get in there and have fun and play with decorations they may not have. A guild stronghold is sort of superseded by a guild ship, to be honest. When this expansion first came out, as I said, 50 million credits is the price point for a guild ship just to open it. Like, we're not even talking about unlocking the different levels and rooms and things. So that was, for a smaller guild, sort of an impediment to getting a guild ship right away. But it was okay because we could still get a guild stronghold or a guild headquarters and have a meeting place or have our own sort of fleet area, even though we couldn't afford a guild ship. So I would say that those are, but otherwise it functions like a guild ship. One other thing I should mention about guild ships is that they are mobile. You use them to actually invade planets, which is a part of the conquest system, which we don't have time to really go into today.
We don't, yeah. It's such an expansive topic, which again, it's probably one of the other few things that I still don't understand very well in the game, probably because I don't really participate in Conquest. Would you like to jump in game and show quickly the quest, talk about the quest that is the introductory quest on how to start with the guild, with the strongholds, and you will tell us what is the level requirement, who can do that, why and how. And then we will start talking about decorations, sources for decorations, how to find them, how to make them, how to buy them. Ready to launch into game?
Sounds good.
And there were, I have an invitation already waiting. And
You're
let's
a popular
see.
guy, Vulkk.
Of course. Yeah, we won't say that it's actually you. That's Jesinia is Jessie. You can tell by, I don't know, the appearance, the name, the title. Are you in front of me? Yeah, there is the title. If it's a party time, something Stardust, you know who it is. Jessie is always a Stardust on Twitter. Every week she has a different avatar and a different name, but Stardust is always there. So
Yes.
unless checking for the real Twitter name, that's the way I actually know that it's her. Right, so we are on the fleet and we have a specially designated section on the fleet called Strongholds and Crew Skills. On the Imperial side, it's located in the bottom right corner. On the Republic side, I think it's top left corner. We are sitting in front of, I hate reading names. Ajuline, how would you read that name?
I just call him the Stronghold Commissioner. He's the
Oh,
only
okay,
one.
that's
so.
simple enough. I should never bother with names then. Right, this is the guy. Next to it, we have a lore object, which is going to tell us a little bit basic information about the Galactic Strongholds. Too basic and too short for it to be enough. When you click on that guy, you have to be what level first to be able to click it?
As I recall, and it's been quite some time since I've done it, but I recall it's level 15 that's required to start this quest.
You don't need to have completed any other pre-quests, any other missions, just need to be level 15 to be able to start the quest for the Stronghold.
Correct. Correct. And you'll be given that quest automatically, as I recall, so you don't have to have even known about it. You'll get information on it. And then you'll come to this guy here, and you can find
get
him on
a mail? Really? That's something I've forgotten. You get the mail?
I think you do. I think you either get a mail or you get the quest automatically. That
right.
It's like I said, it's been a long time since since August of 2014 since I did this. You can repeat this on every single character. It's not once per legacy, because the reason that you want to do this quest really quick, like you
it's
can buy
definitely not for XP.
Yeah, it's not for XP. The reason that you're doing this quest is so that you can get some free decorations that come to you just by the virtue of doing this quest. So you're going to start by talking to this guy, and then he's going to say, go buy a stronghold. When you go buy a stronghold, then all of a sudden you'll get 3 pieces of mail, and you'll get some of the important utility decorations that you'll want to put down in your stronghold, such as the legacy bank that we already talked about, mailbox, which you'll want, of course, and a cargo hold. In addition, you'll get a vendor NPC that you can put down, and some other various sundry things, like some extremely ugly sofas and stuff like that that you would never want to put down anywhere, but it's a starting place, especially if it's your first time and you just want to practice with putting them down and kind of start to sink your teeth into it. So, but the most important things are the storage things, because that, as I mentioned earlier, is a major selling point. You don't have to come to the fleet for all your stuff. You can go into your stronghold and just get it there in the privacy of your own home.
Of course, it's always nice to have some private spot in the universe. We'll quickly jump to the guild ship that you have very nicely invited me, so I can do stuff on it, even though I won't. I promise to be a good boy on the ship. But before we actually start taking the tours, let's talk about the millions of variations of decorations. Where are they available from? Oh, I do get to see the cinematic screen, which actually you see, if I'm not mistaken, only the first time you're landing to a stronghold or a guild ship. You don't get to see it every time. I don't know if there is a setting. I don't think there is. You basically see it every time after a major expansion happens, or only the first time for your character going there. We are currently on the board of the Imperius, the Unholy Alliance Guild Ship. And before we take a tour and see what cool things lie around and how can I steal them, let's talk about the sources for decorations. How exactly do you start planning your decorations and your interior of your home after you purchase it?
Okay, so whenever you buy a stronghold, or when the guild bought a guild ship, it's completely empty. There are no decorations anywhere. There's just a lot of hooks, what are called hooks, which are little glowing squares that you're going to access by clicking on the stronghold's decoration bar, which you can probably do now if you want to, Vulkk, to show everyone. If you hit that edit mode button, all of a sudden it will show you all these glowing neon squares on the walls, on the floors, on the ceiling, and that's where you can put your decorations down. And you'll notice like the green ones are very small, the purple ones are large, the blue ones are medium. And the way that decorations work is that they can fit on a certain size or sized hooks. Like if something is intended for a large hook, you can't put it on a small, but there's some overlap. Some can go on a variety of different ones. When you open up the item itself, it will show you what size hook you'll be able to put it on. So basically, when you first open something, like it's complete blank slate, and so it's maybe good to start thinking about what your overarching plans for it are, so that you can start decorating with a theme in mind. Or at least that's how I do it.
What if you don't have a theme and you just want to put a bunch of things to fill in the green line, the green slider?
You can
What is it about? When you click on the personal stronghold or the guild stronghold and ship, you see a green bar. What is its purpose?
Okay, so that is showing you the level of completion of the stronghold or guild ship that you're currently on, and it will show you a completion percentage. For example, this guild ship is at 100% completion, which means we can't put down a single other decoration in here. We've stuffed it to the absolute rim. We've opened every single room that's available, which is quite a process on guild ships and requires a lot more than we can really get into in this conversation. But we've done that, and we put items down everywhere. That becomes important, as I mentioned earlier about conquest. Your percent completion actually drives the sort of the multiplier for your conquest points. So if I were normally going to be earning 200 conquest points for something, or say 2,000, that's more realistic. If I were going to be getting 2,000 conquest points for something, if I had 100% completion on all of the strongholds, then that would be multiplied by a factor of by 1.2. It would be 120 or 1.25. I don't know. This is getting mathy for me, but basically saying you would be able to get over double that number of points just because you had filled in your stronghold. So it really adds to conquesting guilds. Really care about that, because you can level up all of your characters faster in conquest and do your, take over the planets. So that's the main reason for that. Also, you get different achievements, and people who are interested in personal achievements or guild achievements are going to be interested in the completion level, because as you go through those various completion levels, you get different achievements that unlock in some cases additional decorations. And I don't think there are any titles. Maybe somebody in the stream can correct me if I'm wrong about that. I'm not aware of any titles related to it.
I'm horrible with titles. I never wear ones. I never keep track on how many titles I've earned, where, and why. The only title actually displays my own name of the character. So I'm definitely not the person to back you up about titles in the achievement section.
Well, there are lots
that
of
was one of the reasons why I wanted
to
to jump to the guild ship first, because I know it's filled into 100%, and I wanted to show the message of why and how you're not able to put any other decorations. I'm going to quickly move now to the headquarters, the guild stronghold for Unholy Alliances, which is the Cast City apartment. And please follow me, because I would get lost otherwise. We forgot, or at least I believe we didn't mention, how many strongholds is one person allowed to own, and do they differ from character to character? Like, can you own 3 strongholds on this character, 4 strongholds on the other character? What are the limitations there? Tell us.
There are definitely no character limitations. You can assign who you want to say is the quote-unquote owner of your stronghold.
Legacy bound, yeah.
Yes, they're legacy bound, but you can name them. For example, later we're going to go to Jesinia's vacation retreat, but by just using a drop-down bar, I can choose any of my 23 characters on this server and change it to, for example, Sienna's vacation retreat. So you change who you, because it's more of an RP thing, right? Who it really belongs to.
Yeah.
I know for sure there used to be a limit of 5 strongholds. I want to say, and I'm not completely, like I said, I'm not an expert. I want to say that they expanded that so that you could own all of the available strongholds, but that's probably going to be somebody who knows more than me in the stream who's going to actually be able to answer that question.
or I remember it being 4 at launch.
Maybe it was
If they've
4 and it
changed
went
it
to
later,
5.
I
Yeah.
have no idea.
Yeah. I want to say that I heard something about that. I tend to really focus on one stronghold at a time, so it's not been as important to me to have them maxed out. And I'm not a big conquest person either, so it's been a little less important to me to have every single one. I love Tatooine.
You said in the beginning of the conversation that when the expansion launched, all subscribers got a free Nar Shaddaa Stronghold. If a person subscribes today, do they get the Nar Shaddaa Stronghold again, or was it a limited time offer only?
I believe that was gated by subscription at a certain date, just like many of the other subscriber rewards are. I don't think that they would get it for free. I don't think it's very expensive. It's not as cheap, I don't think, as the Capital Worlds, which are very accessible, but it's not really super expensive like Tatooine and Yavin IV.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit again about the unlocks. Basically, when you buy a stronghold, you pretty much buy a couple of rooms, maybe one room and one corridor. And the rest, that's actually the cheap part. You still buy it, but it's fairly cheap. The bad news is that you have to pay cartel coins or credits to unlock all the other rooms on all the available floors, including the corridors. They are counted as a separate room for whatever reason, because of course you can decorate them.
Right.
But tell us about the difference between purchasing with cartel coins and purchasing with credits. Unlocking, I should say, of those rooms.
Definitely. Well, you can do both. You can both purchase and unlock the individual rooms, balconies, and outdoor spaces with cartel coins or with credits. And obviously that's going to be a personal choice and depending on what your own situation is, but I'm going to suggest that if you can use your cartel coins to unlock things, you do so. And I'll tell you why. The reason is if I ever, for whatever reason, deactivate my stronghold and then want to reactivate it, or if I transfer a character to another server, or I create a new legacy on another server and I want access to a particular stronghold, like in my case, always Tatooine, I will have to pay like as though I never had it before if I bought it with credits. So that's really important, because if I bought it with cartel coins, it's there for me completely unlocked, not decorated, but completely unlocked exactly as I unlocked it on my home server when I first did it. So if you think you're going to be on different servers or you're going to be ever deleting your stronghold or anything like that, consider unlocking it with cartel coins so that you don't basically lose all those credits.
Do you happen to remember any pricings on unlockings? Just basic pricings. I know they differ from room to room and from stronghold to stronghold. Just give our audience a very basic idea of what the unlockings would be. Or if you happen to remember specifically the numbers for, let's say, your Tatooine stronghold, how many cartel coins would one need to buy to unlock the full stronghold?
Okay, so I am actually going to look it up so that I can give you correct information. So I'm doing that on Dolphy had a big guide when it came out with, like, even before we got it, talking about how much it was going to cost to unlock everything. So I'm actually going to look that up right now so that I get us all good information. So the initial, I'll use one of the expensive ones because like we'll just get the sticker shock over with. To initially purchase Tatooine was 2.5 million credits or 2,500 cartel coins. And that opened up like sort of, like you said, like a couple of rooms. It opened up the initial balcony on the room. To buy every room to unlock that 100% of the way is going to be 7 million credits to do that, or 7,500 cartel coins. And then that gives you 500 hooks to put your decorations down. To compare that with one of the less expensive strongholds, like the starter or the Capital Worlds, that's only 5,000 credits as opposed to 2.5 million credits. You see a big difference there. Or 50 cartel coins if you want to do it that way. And only 3,500 cartel coins to unlock the entire thing, or 1.4 million. So I won't say any more numbers, and like that gets boring, but like really it's, you can see it's a big difference. Yeah. So yeah, it is a lot of cartel coins. Yeah. So you're like You don't have to unlock everything though. I mean, there's a lot to start with, especially on the larger strongholds that are at the higher price points. You're going to have a lot of hooks to decorate, and you can just go a little bit at a time. You don't have to open it all on day one. I saved up my pennies, and I just unlocked that whole damn thing on the first day because I wanted to see everything.
Maybe unlock a room when you have an idea for what kind of a theme and interior that room should be decorated with. And then you unlock the next room when you have more new fancy decorations to put in it, and just go one after another. Basically, the unlocking rooms is if you need them and if you want them. One of the reasons is, as we mentioned already, for the achievement, for being able to unlock all the hooks, you need to unlock all the rooms. If you want to get the maximum bonus for the conquest achievements, for the conquest war each week. The other two reasons are that together with unlocking rooms, you also get to invite more people, and you get to place more decorations.
Correct. So we came to this one because it isn't completely decorated, and it was going to give you an opportunity to show how you put a decoration down, right?
Yeah, I'm sure everybody is dying to me copying Muska skills with decorating. Where do you want me to place a crappy item?
Wherever you want. There's a lot of space in here, so if you
I'm going to bother these droids. I have these 3 droids. I don't know if they're the same or maybe similar droids. I've placed them in my stronghold, and they keep moving and producing noises, and they are freaking me out every time I go to my stronghold, and I cannot really explain to myself why I keep them there and I haven't removed them. It's been 2.5 years almost since I've unlocked the stronghold and decorated it. Basically, I don't know if you've seen in my strongholds, usually it happens during live streams, but I only have surrounding my character on the spawn point the most basically required items such as guild bank, personal bank, legacy bank, GTN, mailbox, and maybe a couple other things, and the 3 droids to annoy me.
Well, they're not just annoying. Why don't you click on one and open up the window that you got there and show what's in there?
That's one of the ways to buy decorations. Let me first show how exactly decorating is done, or how it shouldn't be done.
Okay.
Clicking on the button to enter edit mode, all of the UI pretty much disappears, and you see those different kinds of hooks, as we explained them already. I'm not really going into details why and how you can change those hooks, what kind of items you can place. That's really a time for a different kind of tutorial. Don't clap for me, I haven't put anything in it. You don't know what kind of crap I might throw before you.
That's to make you feel good and positive.
Let's see. Obviously, the windows, I've talked about that in my old video when I did the initial tutorial. I really don't understand why on a big screen you need to be forced to scroll from page to page and you don't get to see more decorations at the same time. That's BioWare's limitations, and it's related to the issues with the user interface. So basically you click on a hook depending on what size and type the hook is, and whether it's on the floor or on the walls, you're able to put different kinds of decorations depending of course on what you own and what is allowed to be placed on that hook. If you don't like that hook, you're allowed to change the layout, but again, I'm not going into details. All I want to do is just place something. Oh, look at this. It's actually trying to taunt you or howl at you. I don't know. You feel scared? We've missed the Halloween theme yesterday. Okay, it does look scary from your point of view. You should be scared. And when you're done with this, you just hide the hooks and you admire the Wampa rug, I believe it should be. I didn't really check its name. Stop clapping, I did my job. The one thing you cannot decorate in your other strongholds, unfortunately, is the rain effect on the windows. That's why the Cast City apartment has always been my favorite, but unfortunately, it is only for Imperial players. Republic players have to pay a fee of, I believe, 1,000 credits every time they travel to this. Right? It's still 1,000?
It is. It's like a smuggling.
Otherwise, I would have created my awesome stronghold in the Cast City. And now let's start talking about different sources for where you can find or make decorations. Obviously, these droids are one option. These droids, you get them from the intro quest, right?
That's right.
Or no?
That's part of the yes, it is.
Awesome, I remember things. Wow.
Yeah, that's why you have them, right? Because you got them for
Probably.
free at the
I highly
beginning.
doubt that I've made them myself or purchased them. They're so freaking annoying. Right, so
Okay,
the
this is
pricing
one
here,
source.
Universal Prefab MK1. I promised you not to ask about details related to crafting, but a few words because I believe for a new player who doesn't have a bunch of cartel coins, or specifically a preferred player or a free-to-play player who doesn't really want to spend real-life money or cartel coins or credits in game, because new players don't really have a bunch of credits available yet, maybe crafting is a viable option. And tell us just a few words about the crafting opportunities, and can you really decorate and use your stronghold with just crafted items?
Okay, so I think, yes, we can definitely talk about that, but really quick, I just want to talk about the different places. Crafting is one place that you can get them, but there are other places to get free. Um, to
That's
get
why I
free
want to go over
decorations.
crafting quickly and get to the fun
Okay,
stuff, like
roger that.
operations and cartel market.
Very good. Okay, so for the crafted items, you'll have to have, I want to say it's at least 150. At crafting level 150 of whatever your crafting skill is, you'll be able to buy the schematics that allow you to craft what are called prefabs. There's 3 different types of prefabs, and they correspond to the 3 different droids. There's 3 different droids in this room, and you happen to click on the universal, but there's also a synthetic and another one. Anyway, so you can make the little canisters or the universal prefabs, and then you trade those in. These essentially act as vendors for the little crafted parts that you make. You can also find these vendors on Fleet. In addition, if you want, you can buy those universal prefabs from the GTN. They're not very expensive. Some, like the MK1s, can be like 65,000. The MK3s might be 100,000. But that can also be an inexpensive way to buy some of the cooler decorations, because there's some very good decos that are available from these droids. I really like the fountains. I like any of the decorations that have sort of a water feature to them. And for example, the Jedi fountain is available here for just one of those universal prefab MK3s. If I were to try to buy that Jedi Temple fountain on the GTN, it would be hundreds of thousands of credits. So part of being a smart decorator is to know a variety of places of where to get your decorations, and not just immediately buy them off the GTN because it looks cool. Do a little bit of research and see how else you can get it for cheaper.
That for me is where the hard part is, knowing where you can pick up things or where you can find things. So, obviously, crafting is a viable option. What other sources do we have to find or buy decorations?
So a major source for some of the kind of big ticket, really super cool decorations are, of course, like everything that's big ticket and super cool in game, the cartel market, right? So they come from the cartel packs. As you said, you generally tend to get a decoration in most cartel packs that you buy. And some of them are pretty amazing, and we'll have a look at some of them as we, if we have time to go through a stronghold later and see some of them. That's one place. And then those items, of course, you can then also buy on the GTN, because people will unbind them, let them unbind and put them up for sale. So the GTN and cartel market are 2 of probably the more costly places to find them. In addition, all of the reputations that we have in game, so like all of the different event reputations such as Gree, that bounty hunters, rat ghoul, anything that has a reputation associated with it is going to have decorations that are available from that vendor. And there are some quite amazing decorations that can be had there. A good place to start looking at some of those decorations is the Cartel Bazaar on the Fleet. You'll see many of the special event vendors are there. I would like to point out that there's a really good website as far as categorizing and cataloging the decorations that are available in game and where exactly you can find them. And that is Tor Decorating, and that's at tord.mmo-fashion.com. So that's a branch of Tor Fashion, which is a website that does the clothing. This is for decorations. And what's great about this is it really is a pretty robust database that includes, you can search by type of decoration. You can search by the source, like what we're talking about right now, like where do you actually get them. You can search by by similarity, like if there's something that you like, you can search for something that's similar in feature. And then you can also check, like if you have a particular hook you're trying to fill, like a starship size hook or a large hook, that you want to fill, you can actually sort them by hook. So I recommend to kind of go on that site and kind of, just click around and start looking at things. And you're going to, before you know it, you're going to find a bunch of stuff that you want to buy. It's very addictive. And then you'll have an idea of where to start. We also get trophies and decos from operations. So there are trophies that go up on the wall that are pictures of the various bosses. That also exists for PvP. There are decos that drop and that only drop in specific operations or flashpoints. And that's why it's good to have a database to know where those drop. There are things like, Ricotta energy cubes and Underlurker or different, all manner of things. I mean, there's just hundreds and hundreds of them. But so actually doing content gets you those decorations.
Did you know that I filled through the roof all of the walls on my Nar Shaddaa stronghold just to get as high percentage of the fulfillment as possible? I filled it through the roof with all of these portraits that I had available from story mode, hard mode, and nightmare mode operations and flashpoints. It was a cool collage with the same picture repeated like 15 times on the wall.
Right.
It's only cool to me, but...
You can, but what's cool about that is you don't have to put them up the way they show. Like you can put them at an angle. Like if something is meant to be displayed as a square and you suddenly flip it on its end and make it into a diamond, all of a sudden you can turn those trophies into a stained glass window. You can do all sorts of amazing things. It's like I said, it's just only governed by your creativity and like what your vision is. So you don't have to be like rigid, and you can slide them around on the hooks. They don't have to be placed square on like right angles or anything. There's a lot of like room to wiggle around, despite the fact that it's somewhat on rails, right? So we talked about those kind of places to get them. There's also some achievement-driven decorations you can only get by finishing different achievements. For example, like PvP. So if I wanted, for example, the Alderaan Civil War painting, I would have to have a certain number of kills. I believe you'd have to kill 500 killing blows in Alderaan Civil War, and then I can go right into the achievement tracker in my UI, and then I click on that, and then I have to actually pull it out. So I'm not going and buying anything from a vendor. So that's an important difference, and I didn't know that for a long time. You actually need to go into your achievement tracker and claim it. So that's why it's good to go to a database and see like where all these things are. You may have decorations like or access to them that you don't even know that you have, especially if you're somebody like a PvPer or a raider. There may be things that you didn't know were available to you, but you have to get them.
And that website probably serves a good purpose of telling you which decorations definitely drop from where, and which ones are probably a random drop from this place or the other place.
Exactly.
Do we have actually cool decorations that can drop from normal trash mobs while we are leveling, questing, or just out in the open world?
Ooh, that's a really good question. And maybe somebody from the stream can answer that.
Have you encountered any throughout your leveling
I'm
experience, for example?
I'm thinking about, I don't think so. I can't think of any specific decorations that I got that just dropped off somebody like, on the planet of Nar Shaddaa, but I could be wrong.
How about some crappy ones?
I can't think of any crappy ones either.
It's really subjective what I call crappy. Someone else may actually love.
Yeah, wait till you get to my house.
So it's really unfair to call this crappy or the other one awesome. For example, I may think that the Wampa rug looks fantastic, and then everybody else will immediately unsub from my channel because I said stupid things.
Yeah, right.
It does look cool. A very weird question that I probably should have said for the end, but if you had a chance to introduce one new stronghold, because the chat is actually alive and asking, I don't know why they are asking us. No, someone asked earlier, Jessie doesn't have anything to do with BioWare except that she's paying money to play their game, just like me. She's not she's not a part of their team. She's just, she's just a cool person that I've met a few years ago and I befriended, and I'm using her knowledge for something that I don't really know very well. So, outside maybe of Manan, because everybody loves Manan, obviously, do you have a preference? What stronghold would you like to see added to the game next?
Yeah, so we've done we've done polls on this before on our podcast too, because it is everybody has an opinion about it. I would say for me personally, I'm going to pick two, and you can pick two also, because if I only had to pick one, I don't know
Oh,
what I
I
would
have
do.
to pick? Oh, crap.
Of course you do. So I would pick number one. I would pick Korriban, because I love
Wow.
that sort of ancient world look of it, you know, like ancient Egypt kind of thing going on. And I like all the lore and all of the ancient Sith lords. And I can imagine the sort of themes that I could get going there, and the view I would have off my balcony looking out over the Valley of the Dark Lords. I love that idea. And my other one that I like a lot is Voss, because it's very autumny, isn't it? It's very autumnal with the changing leaves and lots of trees and mountains.
It actually is autumny, yeah.
Yeah, it's a very beautiful world, and I think I would like to have like an autumn like retreat, like a cabin sort of vacation home on Voss as well. So those are my two. How about for you?
Since my favorite planet is Ilum, I would say an Ilum stronghold, although I don't want to live in an igloo, so I'm not really sure how exactly a Ilum stronghold would look like. And obviously, since I asked not to include Manan because that's everybody's favorite stronghold,
Yeah.
I would probably mention... I don't know, really. I was going to say Hoth, but then again, it's two icy planets, and it's not really cool to have two preferences or two wishes from the similar kind of design, because what else can you put on an icy planet except for an igloo?
A lot of heaters. Fireplace.
Okay.
This rug that you put
Nice.
down right here, I think this rug right here would be a fine addition to
Oh, of
Hoth
course,
and
yeah.
that's right. This would be perfect for Hoth. I mean, it fits
I
the
would
theme.
definitely love to see a Rishi one because of the verticality on the
Oh,
planet. I
right.
don't know how many people actually pay attention, when, especially when they land on Rishi, just after they finish the conversation with the word bird thingy that believes you are a pirate. But if you lift your head up, you would see, I was going to say thousands of meters of verticality. It's not thousands, of course. It's probably a couple dozen meters in height. But there are bridges connecting different kinds of towers. There is stuff happening above our heads, and I think this would definitely translate well into a stronghold. We already see what kind of beautiful place Yavin could be. We're going to see it in live, right? In a few minutes.
Sure.
Sure. Okay.
Sure. Absolutely. Yes.
Before we jump into the touring, anything else that you think we should have covered in the kind of tutorial that I'm thinking this is?
I mean, there's a lot of different directions we could go, and we could make this, you know, like a 3-hour stream, or we could make it, you know, 3 1-hour streams. I mean, I think we've done, you know, we've introduced it pretty well, and, you know, just getting started with it and thinking about it. I think we're probably good to just do a little tour to get some ideas of what other people have done with their strongholds. And while we're doing that, we can point out some specific decorations and mention where those were obtained.
Okay, then let's start the touring. Where will we go first?
Okay.
We already saw the best part, obviously, the two things I've just placed, but let's see what other people are capable of.
Yes, I don't know how we're going to outdo what's already been done in this room, because
Yeah,
this
it won't be
is
easy.
setting the bar.
I'm just as good as
high.
Eric Musco is, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just that I did it a little bit quicker.
So do you want to hit all of the strongholds, or do you want to pick out maybe 2 that we go and visit now?
Let's say do 3, and we'll see
Okay.
how long it takes us.
How we'd go.
After
Okay.
those 3.
Okay.
I'm thinking
so,
yours, the guild ship, and the third one, totally random one you choose. I'm hoping for
Okay.
Yavin, but I'll
Well,
leave
I'll
that
tell
to
you
you.
what. Since you're hoping for Yavin, why don't we go ahead and do that first? That way we make
Okay.
sure we get it done, okay? All right, so you should have gotten an invite. So that's the way that, you know, like when you have your stronghold, you'll be inviting people to it by using the stronghold menu, and that'll bring you a pop-up, and it'll allow you to travel to it. It'll allow you to invite people, give people keys. There's everything kind of comes out of that stronghold menu. So I opened mine up and invited Vulkk. He got a pop-up, and then he's coming.
And I'm
So
already here.
And you're right, yes, because by the time I went blah, 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 you had already traveled and you probably already toured it, but I'm loading in now. All right. So this is the Yavin IV Stronghold, your favorite. This is a very large stronghold that was introduced later, and this did not come out with the first expansion.
When was it introduced? Was it summer 2015?
I want to say probably, well, yes, it was definitely 2015 because it didn't just come out this year. Maybe about a year after the initial launch of Galactic Strongholds, it would be a good guess, but I don't have dates for that because I was at work that day. So we'll go ahead and go into the Stronghold. As you can see, it's got a lot of outdoor area, and that's a lot different from, of course, the guild ship is in space, so there's no outdoor areas to decorate.
Now, just let me point one thing quickly. I don't have the special decorating menu when I'm in this stronghold because I'm a total guest here. I only get the menu when I'm either in my own stronghold or when I have a gold key.
Correct. So you wouldn't be able to do any editing. You also, sort of a disadvantage is you can still use interactables like that turret that you just clicked on, but you would not be able to, say, for example, hover over an item and see what it was. Like if you wanted to know what are these NPCs here, you wouldn't be able to see that they were Imperial Guardsmen by hovering over it. This stronghold
what's their salary?
They make double what I make. So this stronghold actually does not belong to me either. Yeah, well, I mean, it's important, right? Like security is important. We need protection.
Whose privacy are we invading?
Well, it's actually, belongs to a guildmate of ours. His name is Salluk, and he is one of the best decorators I've encountered in game. A lot of the great ideas, or whatever, if they're great ideas, that I have gotten for decorating, I have basically stolen from Salluk. So all respect and due goes to him because he was the first one who showed me. For example, I talked about stained glass. Let's go over here and look at this. These are trophies that everybody gets for doing these operations, and he has put them in such a way as to make them almost look like a stained glass window. You're not like, you don't feel like you're looking at necessarily the bosses, but you're like you're looking at a design or something almost abstract. So this was a big empty room, of course, when he purchased it, and he filled it up with all of these like very dark imagery, right? He's got a lot of Sith stuff going on in here. This is an Imperial stronghold. It is the beach house. We call it the Yavin beach house, just because we're silly. And it is it's
skulls and chains. Of course, it's a city.
Yeah, so we need that in every beach house. Am I right? So let's take a quick look. Let's just quickly run through the rooms here, because if you haven't seen the Yavin stronghold, it has a lot of beautiful features that are actually part of the stronghold itself. So for example, this waterfall coming down into this room, I think this is just really lovely. Like, it's so beautifully rendered, and even if you didn't put any decorations down in here, it's such a tranquil place. I really like this room. Let's just keep moving because it's really large and there's a lot to see.
And we get to the roof as well.
Yeah, we're going to go to the roof as well. But first, let's go down to the basement here and just take a look at how he chose to lay this out.
Will you show me the secret passage?
I won't.
That I'm not supposed to know about.
No, I won't.
Okay.
So this has got a lot of balconies and open space.
Why do you want to?
What's that?
Who's locked up there? Why don't you want to show?
You don't need to know. That's need to know. You don't have the security clearance, Vulkk. But what I like about this stronghold a lot is that you can look out and see Yavin from here. I mean, like, all of us who love all the original trilogy movies just love anything. Like, that's why I love Tatooine, right? Because it reminds me of those movies. And so this, of course, reminds me of Return of the Jedi, and I love looking at it. So let's
and there are a couple of Easter eggs which we will not show. First, because I don't have my micro binoculars, and second, because I want them to be a surprise. If you guys have never been to a Yavin stronghold, you should definitely use your micro binoculars and look around from the balconies.
I love that tip.
Not from this one specifically, but from all of them. You might actually find interesting things. And when we get to the stronghold of Jessie's, maybe I'll tell you about the different Easter eggs there.
I'm excited because I don't know about them, so I'm really excited.
Oh.
No, this is really thrilling. All right, so we're going to come all the way upstairs. So as you can see, it's like a really large stronghold, and there's a lot of steps. One thing that I do wish they would institute inside these larger strongholds is some sort of quick traveling mechanism, like a clickable, so that you could start at you could place them down. And I don't care if they charge us for them, or if it's a cartel item, but how great would it be able to be to not have to do these stairs like every day if you wanted to run around your stronghold.
So be so kind, please, as to show yourself.
So this is
I'm at the top. There we go. Just heading for the bridge. Okay. When you said upstairs, and I only know one upstairs, but it's a gigantic stronghold, and it wouldn't be a surprise if I get lost.
It really is. So why don't we come
This
up
is
here,
a famous bridge I just want to mention, because BioWare demonstrated this bridge along with the Togrutta's first shots. This is where we first saw the two Gruta species. Of course, they showed it in a female form because they didn't want us to know how horrible the male two Gruta looks. Right here at the waterfalls.
I know. I just can't make. I keep making
Well,
them.
you
and
don't
just
agree?
deleting them.
Two Gruta male is the ugliest species ever in the game.
It's really, really difficult to make a good-looking one. I have to agree.
Okay, let's focus on the decorations because they are really outstanding. Even though I think I saw them in the previous Extra Life when we did a tour of this very same stronghold.
Yes. Yes.
Well,
So this.
if my memory serves me well, some things have changed.
Yeah, I think maybe a couple of things have changed. So, what we have here is a centerpiece fountain, and this is another example of how you can be creative with your decoration. The fountain that I'm gonna jump into here. The middle fountain is one item, and all of the small fountains that are surrounding it, like this one here, these are all other individual items. And so he has very creatively assembled them to make one very large centerpiece fountain. So that's an example of how you can customize your stronghold so it doesn't look like everybody else's. Then these items on the sides, these are pergolas from Macab, and they're not expensive, and you can get those from Reputation. As I mentioned before, Reputation is one source of some of the very cool decorations. Things like PvP comms are another way, as well as PvP achievements are another way that you can get decorations. This is another Macab item here. And we can go all the way up
Which
here onto
one is
the
the
roof.
item? Is that the whole thing one item?
Yeah, so that's what this
Whoa.
whole round, because it's a gazebo, this whole thing is one decoration. So you can't really customize anything within it, but I think it's a really gorgeous. It's so
It
it's
really
so serene.
is.
It's very, it's kind of
Where is it from?
Greek looking.
You said Macab?
That one is also Macab.
The Reputation
because-
vendor as well?
Yeah, I believe so. When we get to my stronghold, I can actually look and tell you, because this is not my personal stronghold. As I said before, the limitation is I can't hover and tell you any information about it. I just happen to have a key to this stronghold, so I can show it to you. So do you see above
I think
your
I
head
found
there?
my next wife. I mean,
there's a-
my first wife.
Or maybe
I'm
your
a Sith
first
after
wife.
all, okay? I'm allowed to have multiple.
Your
Look at
first
that.
and
And
your
she's
second
blue,
wife, they're
my
both
favorite
there.
color. Sorry, I'll focus
Do
on the
you see
important things.
the little tile, the grappling hook you can click on, and that will pull you up a level?
Well, I
there.
don't
You
see it from here, but it should be here somewhere.
Trust me, it's there. Use the force. Stretch out with your feelings.
Oh, there we go.
It's right there, and then that'll flip you right on top. That's a kind of a cool feature that's unique to this stronghold that doesn't exist on any of the others.
Well, yeah, it
so
exists on plenty space. Whoa. Plenty of areas in the game,
in the
plenty
game,
of
but not
planets.
within the strongholds.
Specifically, many of them are actually related to Datacrons, but to strongholds, it's the first time they're using them here.
That's right, and they're used in Coffee as well, right? For some of the missions in Coffee to be moving around. Yeah. Okay, and so then down here we have more features that are built into the strong. So we put a bar here, but the feature here with the water, that's all part of what you get with the stronghold. So this is a really beautiful stronghold in terms of what is given to you. So what Salluk did here, and an idea that I stole and you'll see in my stronghold, is to use these are Vulkk beds. They're very inexpensive, and you can get them from those droids. Inexpensive.
Oh, they
you
look
can get them
expensive.
from the I know they do. Don't they look really fancy? They're meant to be beds, but he's used them as sun loungers here, and he's used these Macab or these Vulkk umbrellas as sunshades. So that's just, again, creative use of decorations in a different way than maybe they were designed for, but he's made it looks like a complete, like a pool lounge area, right? So you can get super creative with that. Yeah, they're very inexpensive. You buy those from those fabrication droids that we were looking at in the Guild Stronghold. So if you'll follow me down here, I'll show you a little bit more of the features of this
you
one.
know, Red from my stream chat actually reminded me about the Macab gazebo. Are you sure this is a gazebo from the Reputation vendor, or wasn't it actually a reward for doing an achievement on Macab involving farming all the dailies and stuff?
He may be 100% correct about that. Like I said, but not being able to hover over it and see the origin of the item, I can't say.
Okay.
It's quite possible. This would be an excellent use of that website that I talked about, which is the tourdecorating.com, because it's impossible with all of these things to always, I don't have like an encyclopedic mind, like at all. Like I can barely remember what my name is. I'm really glad
there
you
are
introduced
so
me.
many decorations already available in the game. There were a lot when this launched, and now 2.5 years later, we have like 1,500 times more. Or that's total random number that I just said, but definitely the cartel market helps a lot with different variations for decorations. Do you happen to know the origins of the fountain? Because it's a lovely piece of art. And I mean, not just the central piece, but the 4 things surrounding it.
Yes. So really quick, let me just go back to your question about the McKeb pergola, the one that we're standing before now with the rectangular with the vines on it. That and I'm remembering it now that I'm reading it on Tour Decorating. That actually came from PvP comms. So there's a vendor down in the Starfighter area of the fleet where you can buy Starfighter and PvP decorations from using your commendations from those parts of the game. So that's where I got mine too. So, and I believe you can also buy them on the GTN because people buy them and then sell them. But yeah, those are PvPs, and it required 250 Warzone commendations, which really isn't many at all, to get one of these lovely things. And then it goes on a centerpiece hook. As to what was your other question? See, I told you I can't remember anything. What was the
I do have another question that I just popped in my mind. Do you know of decorations that are specifically locked and only available to you? Apart from those locked behind special kind of event like being an early subscriber or a regular subscriber, do you know of decorations that can be earned in-game that can actually be only used by you and you're not allowed to sell them? Just give me an example. I'm sure there are many of those.
Those do exist, and I let me see if I can think of an example. I think the reputation, the ones that you buy with reputation have to be are bind on pickup or bind to you. I mean, once
are they
it's
bound
not really
to
bind to
legacy
pickup, it's bound
actually?
to legacy. Of course, it's
awesome.
legacy because this is a legacy system, not a character system. So you're exactly right.
You never know when BioWare might screw up with some little detail.
No, they
or
didn't
forget.
Screw it up. It's if I open a decoration on this character, it's there for me to, if I go log in on another character and want to start decorating, it's available there in my decorations inventory. Yeah, it's complete legacy system. But yeah, I think some of the reputation vendor items are only going to be available to your legacy, and you won't be able to sell them when. And that may be the case with this pergola. Like I said, I just honestly can't remember, but you always have a tooltip with any item that you're going to purchase. So if you're looking to buy it to sell it, then, just double check and make sure that it's not bound to your legacy when you purchase it. I might be stuck.
I've just managed to get myself stuck. Are you stuck as well?
Me too.
Lovely.
Yeah.
So this is a risky moment when you're exploring decorated stronghold that doesn't belong to yourself. You never know when the trap might spring.
You can get trapped, and then you'll have to release, and that'll always put you back to the beginning of the stronghold. I just want to show
I typed stuck, and I spawned right next to it.
Oh well, you're lucky because I spawned at the entrance, and I'm coming back to you right now. So I'll be there in about 30 seconds.
Okay.
I have to go back up the stairs. This is why I'm saying they need to have bind points. Quick travels within strongholds, because some of these, as you see, we're going to go through this stronghold and out into the back 40, as they call it, the backyard of the stronghold, and see exactly how expansive it is. I don't want to. I know that people are probably, this is a long stream, so I don't want to go into every area and every room.
I will have a table of contents, so everything that we talk about will be divided in categories and accompanied with time links. So if people care only about one thing, they can jump there. So don't worry. Unless you're feeling sleepy, which I don't think is the case because it's actually early afternoon for you, don't worry about this.
Okay. Well, so so each of these towers, you can climb all the way up to the top. You can put decorations on the top. You can, decorate the entire interior of them. We won't go into all of these rooms right now, but I just kind of wanted to give you an idea here. And so he's decorated this with a throne, and again with the stained glass, and he's like laid all these out. And made this into a beautiful space. It was just like an octagon or whatever. Like,
what do you think is the purpose of that room? You think slaves get punished in here? Or do they hear their sentence actually? The punishment happens maybe below.
Maybe that's what you would use it for, but I think it looks
See,
to
I
me
can be a
like
role player.
maybe more of a council room. But yeah, whatever you say, Vulkk.
Okay.
You can have your own RP stuff, okay? But I think it's sort of more of a council
Yeah,
room.
I
or
think
like
I better not stop there. Yeah.
cabinet.
You see what ill and weird things come up out of my mind.
Yeah, I'm sure you can do all sorts. You can go any direction you want to with your stronghold.
Let's keep the facade and the appearance of a good guy.
That's right. Let's keep this conversation vanilla. So you had asked me about the small fountains surrounding the larger fountain. Yeah, and that was something I mentioned earlier, that some of these really cool decorations you can get on the cheap. These small side fountains are called Jedi Temple fountains, and you can get them from those Universal Prefab Crafters, the droids that we looked at. And if you don't have the crafting ability or the desire to slog out that crafting, you can buy the little prefabs on the GTN for about 65,000, and then you can I think you need 2 of them to purchase each one of those small fountains. So if you see this fountain on sale on the GTN for $1.5 million, don't buy it. Ask yourself, where else can I, how else can I buy this cheaper? And go to the TOR decorating website, or just do a little bit more research, because impulse buying, like once you start getting into decorating, you're like, I want, need, like must have now, and you'll spend way too much money on decorations, and you don't really need to do that. So let's move on.
I've personally never checked decoration prices on GTN, but I suppose the GTN stalking game works here as well. But you can also find someone silly enough to sell their precious rare decoration for silly amount of few credits, or for silly amount of few million credits.
It's like anything else.
Careful.
You have to be a good consumer, right? There's a lot of things to explore back here, and I definitely I recommend, if you haven't done strongholds before and you're interested in seeing ideas for strongholds, you can go to the fleet. Are you still behind me? Okay, good.
The Easter eggs, I stopped for a moment. The Easter eggs that I mentioned, actually, or at least the 3 I know, are actually from this side of the stronghold. You just take out your macro binoculars and look at the far distance. When you do that, let me know if you really didn't know about their existence.
No, I really didn't. I didn't know about the Easter eggs here or on Tatooine.
Did you know about the one on Tatooine?
No.
Oh, you love that one especially.
Yeah, I'm excited. So if you're looking for,
I'm proud. It comes way too late into the stream, but I know something about decorating that you don't.
I'm sure there are a lot of people who know a lot more about decorating.
It doesn't have anything to do with decorating.
I'm just an expert compared to you.
Yeah.
So let me just finish this thought, which is, if you want to see strongholds that are decorated or really check out like what the interior looks like or what people have done with it, people will list their strongholds publicly. So you can go to the stronghold, the place where you buy the stronghold, right on the fleet, and you can click on that in the same little kiosk where you would purchase your stronghold. You can also look and travel to other people's strongholds if they have made them publicly tourable, and then you can travel right there and walk around and get good decorating ideas from them and check out the interior. So you don't have to, like, if you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to unlock this room, it's a lot of money and I don't even know what's behind there, that'll give you an opportunity to sort of try before you buy. So make sure, if you haven't seen these things, to go and check that out.
And of course, those hubs or terminals are available as well on the home planets. Like, for example, in the central or main hub area, on each planet, you would be able to find those terminals if you don't want to go to the fleet.
Right, exactly, on any planet that has it. On any planet that has a stronghold, there's also that kiosk. So there's one on Tatooine, one in Yavin, and then on the core worlds in Nar Shaddaa, or on the capital worlds in Nar Shaddaa. All right, so there's a lot to see here, and we didn't see it all. So there's a lot of like lagoon areas. There's a big tower you can go out to, gives you a 360 view of Yavin, and there's some amazing things to see here. But I think we wanted to see a couple of different strongholds, so we should probably move on to the next one. What do you want to see next, Vulkk?
I want to go to your stronghold on Tatooine.
Okay, let's do that then.
And while we are moving, tell me, is this stronghold publicly available on the Harbinger server?
It is. It's awesome. Available. Yeah, it's available because we use it for parties.
Will you be able to type the name so I can copy it to the stream chat? And of course, I'll make a note in the video later on for people who would like to actually take their own tour around this.
Sure.
How is the stronghold listed? What's the name? Who's the owner?
It's Jesinia, the character that I'm on right now.
No, not yours. This one first, then yours.
Oh, that one was
We'll list
Salluk.
yours when we do the tour.
So it's Salluk. S like Sam. ALLUK. Let me look. Galactic Stronghold, I think. Let me just check. Vacation Retreat. Oh, so I should change mine because that's like
Salluk?
SALLUK. Vacation Retreat.
That's the name of the Yavin Stronghold that we just explored. And if I forget it, I'll make sure to ask you again, because I would definitely include it with a timestamp for everybody who would like to take a tour. And now, where are we?
So now we're on, this is my Tatooine stronghold, and this is Jesinia's Marketplace Cantina. Like I said, you can change the name of it, so I didn't want to have it be the same as Salluk, so I just changed it to Marketplace Cantina. And those are like similar to titles that you buy for your character. You can buy titles or obtain titles for your strongholds. So there are a variety of different ways that you can name them. Like, for example, the ones that I have unlocked are Vacation Retreat, Pirate's Roost, Layer of Shadows, Chamber of Deception, Chamber of Truth.
How do you unlock those?
Those you get. I think those were those titles were in previous cartel packs. So they were items. Okay. Yeah, they were items that were in cartel packs, and you can find those. Those are pretty cheap on the GTN as well. So if you're going for a particular theme,
obviously yes, everything that is in the cartel packs is a couple of days later available on GTN. First at a very expensive price, and later on the probably more decent one. Right. Even later than this, when things don't exist anymore on the cartel market, the prices go up again. So you have to be very careful if you're stocking something.
Yeah, if you find something that you like, just buy it because it's going to be more later.
Let's do a tour.
Okay. All right, so this is the loading zone for the Tatooine strongholds, and I just made mine as sort of like a reception area, so that's why I have an NPC here. I have in contrast to what Salluk did with his, he didn't use a lot of NPCs. He used some dancers and things, but I'm really into the NPCs, so I've maxed out the number of NPCs. There are maximums to certain decoration types, and you can only have like a certain number of each type of thing, and some of them are like you'll never exceed it, and some of them I think they need to increase. But so I have lots of NPCs in pretty much every room. So this is the entryway, and then I've got this is the sports bar over here.
So I got distracted by the Jedi Knight ship crashed on top of the door.
So I have lots of cantinas. This is the sports bar. So this is a if you've done any of the Star Fortresses, you've probably seen these Zakuulin meta computation machines, and that's where this particular decoration is from. And to me, it reminded me of like TVs in a sports bar, with all the different sporting events on.
It does look like one, yeah.
So I decided that's why this is a sports bar. So, and then I like to put special NPCs down. So this is Jolo. If you have done the HK, that's it. Yeah, he has a name in the story. If you've done the Play as HK chapter, which I hope you have.
Of course, I just don't remember.
Right.
I was just about to ask, what exactly is that tool that he's using?
This is his, oh gosh, I can't remember the name of that. Electro mop or something like that, and he's using it.
It makes sense, yeah. What else would it be?
Yeah.
We have Electro everything in Star Wars universe.
Right.
And it's obviously a mod. All right.
So it's obviously a mod. So why don't we go ahead and go downstairs, because
I just want to file a complaint. The droid didn't offer me a drink. But be sure to scold it for the future.
All right, so we'll go ahead and we'll go downstairs and we'll see some of the other spaces here.
Wait. Where is this from?
Oh, so
I remember it, but just tell our viewers. Because it's a lovely piece of art. Did you go down?
I'm right here. Which one are you looking at? Where are you? Let me find you.
I'm upstairs, just at the elevator.
Oh, okay. Was there something that you were particularly interested in?
This one.
That's what's it called? Small statue of ancient horrors. And that originally came from the Cartel Market Gatekeepers pack.
Is it available at the moment? Do you know? Or maybe through
I
Chance
don't know if
somewhere?
that particular pack is available because they keep doing re-releases on some of the packs. I don't know if
Yeah,
that
I
one
got
is...
confused these past couple months when old packs were actually re-released with a discount and stuff. And Bauer does that from time to time. But if you find an item that's not available at the moment and it's ridiculously expensive or non-existent on the GTN, you can always buy a bunch of packs and hypercrates and hope that you get that item from a chance cube. I definitely don't advise anybody doing that. You would get real life poor very quick.
Yes. So we can go downstairs. Okay, so there's lots of
What was that?
oh, that's somebody else who has come to our stronghold.
Is that a random person?
That was somebody who came because we said it was publicly listed, so somebody came and
Lovely. Hello.
and suicided.
Disappeared. I couldn't read the name. Vis something.
Yeah, Viscous. Okay.
Okay. Are
Is
you
that
looking for
somebody in
an
your stream?
achievement
Must
dropping down? Probably.
All right, so there's a lot of open areas on Tatooine, and open areas are not necessarily my forte in decorating, so this is probably a little bit cluttered. And if you go and tour some other strongholds, you'll probably get some better ideas for how to decorate your strongholds.
From what I remember, checking out the hooks on the Tatooine stronghold, they're actually very limiting on the outside, on the open areas.
Yeah, the outside
or at
ones
least
are
for
a
me,
little bit
the
limited.
things I want to
Yeah.
put definitely don't have a hook for, or the hooks that I have available are not where I want them to be. That's one of the most frustrating limitations to the Galactic Strongholds. You're not allowed, like for example, what was in Star Wars Galaxies, because I did a little bit of decorating there. You were totally free to put things in the air and rotate them and do them whatever you want. You weren't limited with hooks or places, or you weren't limited with number of items that you're allowed to have in your home. Obviously, houses in Star Wars Galaxies looked a lot smaller and uglier. Okay.
Yeah.
Back to you.
I definitely agree.
Are we fighting in the arena?
Yes. So this is a Yavin fighting arena. So when we have PvP like dueling events and things for the guild, we use this. It's a lot of fun. So this is intended as a hangar for your starship, but a lot of people that I've seen have done similar type of things to what I've done, which is to just decorate it. And like you said, the limitations are sort of like where you can put the hooks. So you'll see that like the majority of my items are like around the edges here. But you can still do themes. Like this is my little Mandalorian, right, area here, and I have
why do you keep the Zaku Knight in prison?
Because he deserves it. We don't need to go into his crimes.
All right, then. I'll trust you.
There are some interactive decorations. I wanted to show you this. So this is obtained from the PvP vendor using PvP comms, and it's actually interactive, and it's an interactive hub ball. And so I can pick it up, and it has a certain amount of time before it explodes. And you use that same legacy skill or general skill that you get for throw the hut ball.
Danger. I'm actually displaying the debuff you have at the moment because of that item you're wearing.
So see how I just exploded?
Nice.
So I'm going to toss you the ball. I had to hotbar my thing. I didn't have it ready
I had
to go,
not seen that decoration before, ever. I didn't know it exists. Just
so
like with many others
here in
as
just
well.
A second. So give it a second and it'll respawn, and then you'll be able to pick it up, and then you'll use the same key that you use in a hut ball match to throw it. I don't know why it isn't respawning. Be respawning right now.
Should I move here, for example, so you can throw it on me? Yeah, if you throw it right before it explodes, I suppose I'm screwed.
Then you're going to explode, yes. So that's kind of the point of this game. So you try to be like, so you run around and everybody's trying to get away from you.
Do I see a green circle on the floor?
You're going to see when you get it. Watch. So I've just tossed it to you, and so it's up to
Oh,
you to
that-
toss it to somebody else.
No,
Before
that's
it
I don't
explodes.
have the key actually. Oh wait, I do. No, I
By
don't.
the time you find it, you're going to be dead, Vulkk. I just to let you know.
Yeah, I'm going
There
to
you
explode
go.
definitely. It didn't
So-
hurt me much.
So there are
I'm a strong Sith.
some interactive decos, and I think that those are a lot of fun.
Yeah, you can make small games with those things.
Absolutely, and especially we host a lot of parties and things like that for like our charity event. Like for example, Extra Life is coming up next weekend. We'll have events that are in people's strongholds, and it's nice to have them decorated in a theme and a controlled environment, like where we can have both factions and you can invite everybody, and that's a lot of fun. So, so that's what this space is for. This is the Jawa Droid Workshop. So yeah. Let's take a look real quick at some of the other features of the stronghold itself, some of the spaces that are available to decorate. If you see any decoration in particular that you want me to tell you about, I will. Otherwise, we'll just sort of run through so that people aren't all unconscious with boredom looking at my things.
Right. I just learned what was I missing, why I wasn't able to use throw the bow, because I actually need a target for this thing to work.
Oh yeah, you need to target because you might be playing with a lot of friends and you're gonna pick the person that you want to target, right?
So it's not exactly like hood bow.
So no, well, it is. I mean, you have to target who you're going to throw the ball to in football, right? So it's the same strategy. So this item right here is the Shevin representative. Do you remember the Shevin event that we had about 3.5 or so years ago? It was the one with
Wasn't
all
that
the
on
grapes on
Nar
Nar
Yeah. I actually have a video of it. 30 minutes of Vulkk running around and collecting stuff. And failing on quests, waiting in line for the queue of people.
Well, this is the event like representative that was for that event, and he is available to buy as a decoration. He was extremely difficult to get because he requires reputation from many different events. So I needed to turn in a bunch of rat ghoul canisters. I needed to turn in the Gree stuff, the Grey helices. As well as a bunch of bounty contracts. So things like this, if you're into achievements, are sort of, I guess, could be considered like prestige items because you have to gather so much of the reputation to display it. So, but I just thought he was really cool looking, and I wanted to have him in my house. So,
he is.
That's
It's hard to say if it's a he or she or something else.
It's a he. His name is Jerome.
How do you know?
Just so you know. Because we're friends. His name is Jerome.
Oh.
Because he's been living
That's
here
another...
in my house.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. That's another decoration I hadn't seen before.
Right, so this...
You have your own Salluk.
So, exactly.
Do you remember the April 1st joke from BioWare when they pretended to have the Salluk playable class?
Yes, I do.
That was from 2010, I believe. I believe them.
2011 probably, since the game launched in 2011, right?
No, it was before the launch of the game. They were introducing the classes one by one. Right around the time when they thought that Jedi Wizard is a cool name for a class, before the community told them, whoops.
They've had some April Fool's jokes over the years that have been very cool.
That one is by far the best. And I tried to look up the specific page. It still exists, but it's kind of broken, unfortunately. But the text is still there for the Salluk being a playable class. They actually had demonstration of what it can do, how it can be played. Okay, do we have more rooms to see before this one gets hungry?
Yeah, so he already got hungry. I've already been consumed.
Oh,
there,
crap.
I got spit out. Okay, I'm ready to go.
Are you in one piece? Cool. You can even move. That's a fake Salluk. I can tell by you moving.
Yeah, that actually is a fake Salluk. And actually, it doesn't have the animation that I just did, which was to be sucked in by the Salluk. I have the item.
It's the regeneration item, yeah. We just had a request from the stream chat to show that trick. It's really cool.
There. Can you see it? I've been sucked in and I'm about to be spit out.
What we don't see unless we mouse over you or unless we target you is that you're actually regenerating health for 15 seconds.
Yes.
It's one of the many animations available for health regen.
Oh my gosh.
Instead of that very
and
basic
among
one.
My favorites. Yes, I love those. So I won't take you into all of the rooms down here. We'll just take a quick peek at the outside and then some of the interior rooms in the courtyard. So this has a lot of open space, and I think while we're out here, maybe you were going to show us some Easter eggs. Can we see them from over here in the camp
I'm not
area?
really sure if it's viewable by here or we have to be up on the balcony, but basically find a clear spot and check the horizon this way. It is here somewhere. If you can't see it, we should go back on the balcony, and I'm really curious to see and hear actually your reaction when you discover the Easter egg. You need the micro binoculars.
Yeah, I'll have to grab
Just
one
look
out
from
of,
left to right.
like
You have them on?
I don't have them. I'll have to go grab them, out of my legacy stuff.
Okay.
So a lot of these items, like over here, so they're, like I said, the hooks are limited, and I would love to be able to put things all over this area, but the hook areas are limited, so things are sort of bunched up together. But yeah, this is sort of an encampment area, and then I just got a brand new, because I knew I was going to be on your stream today. I went and bought a big ticket decoration today, so we have to go see it because I just spent lots of money on it, so it could be famous. So does this look familiar, this structure here?
Yeah.
It should do if you've done coffee. So this is the Odessan Command Center. Just like when you come in, like when you're gathering everybody up to fight for you, in the Alliance, this is the command center that
Do we have a stealth attack waiting for us, or can I enter freely?
It's perfectly
Sky troopers jumping on us.
So this you can't put any decorations down within it. This is the way it came, but
you ran out of money before you were able to hire the Sky troopers, actually, right?
Yeah, no Sky troopers. There's no Sky trooper NPC decos yet, unfortunately, and there's no interactables on this. But I just think it looks super amazing, so I had to.
It does, and it fits very well with the theme of the Stronghold overall. I don't know if it accepts the color theme of the Stronghold, but it does look very similar to everything else around.
Yeah,
like for example, it's not bright
shape.
purple or pink,
right?
And the shape as well, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really nice. So this is this little spa. We've got a spa and pool area here.
You have over-decorated stuff. I just want to mention my FPS dropped to 40, 35. Wow, there are far too many things here.
Well, I would like to mention this is not 100% complete. In fact, it's not even anywhere near.
Really? How much
complete.
Is it?
It's 68% complete.
Whoa.
So there's a lot you can do, but I don't like it to be super busy either. So I don't need it to be. I'm not a real big conquester, so I'm not really too worried about it being 100%. All right, I'll show you a couple more little things, and then we can look at you said you wanted to look at the guild ship a little bit, so we'll do that.
Okay.
So you want to just kind of jump down here. So this is sort of where we were with the
gonna
Salluk
like this
pit.
one. Oh, it doesn't allow me. Come on. Okay, then let's move on.
Okay. All right. So then you have like an underground hallway to get through to sort of the courtyard rooms here. And so you have a whole nother section of rooms that you can. And
locked me out.
Yeah, doors are an issue, right? With strongholds, they tend to slam on people. It's very rude.
They're not as annoying as the doors on what was the name of the big ship from Kotfi? The Gravestone.
Gravestone.
Have you noticed how annoying the doors are? Never opening while you're passing through them, or actually opening when they're not supposed to. Never mind, that's a different topic.
Yes. So there's 3 rooms out here that you can decorate as well as the open spaces here. And there's a lot of new ricotta items that have been introduced to game. So my eventual plan is to move these ricotta items out into because there's a lot of large ricotta things too. And I'm going to make a whole ricotta courtyard out in the big open space. But this is sort of the start of my ricotta, I don't know, like tranquility garden.
I was just about to dare and ask you, could you make up a theme decorated room about the Rakata? Something related to the lore, and you've actually already started. What's this? Which planet is that?
That's Belsavis. So that's
really?
Where, yes.
Oh, of course, with the green nodes.
Right.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah,
okay.
Right.
I'll pretend I could have guessed that without you telling me.
Yeah, no, you did guess it, right? And then this is my bedroom here. So,
okay.
Yes.
We're not allowing the streaming. Is it empty actually? Do we have someone waiting here sleeping?
Yeah, I think it's empty right now. So anyway, you can. Yeah, this is Yeah. Also, people make bedrooms. People make, med bays. You can do whatever thematic stuff that you want to do. So, and I like Tatooine a lot, so I put Tatooine stuff in here as well. So I think that's it. I mean, it's no better or worse than anybody else's stronghold, but it's mine.
Have
and
you
I love
ever
it.
bothered translating the Orabesh on this picture or in any other one? I used
No,
to do that in the very, very beginning on Corellia, for example. Because
Do
all
you
these
read it?
weird signs, some of them I read and translated them, and I knew some of them from early screenshots from Darth Hater, if you remember that website. They
Of course.
posted some screenshots before the release of the game with the Orabesh translated. Like, for example, signs like warning, don't cross this or don't go there, it's about to fall down. It's just fun to read these things. And they're actually related. The sign and the text on the sign is related to what the sign is about or the area it's placed in.
Yeah.
I'm sure
That is
that this
absolutely true.
explains how dangerous the sounds are. Or maybe what
No, it
this...
explains what a lovely place it is to visit, and everybody should live here,
course,
is
yeah.
what it says. And a lot of them are very comical too. So if you go into some of the flashpoints and you stop at that will be like a random cantina, say in a flashpoint or in an area. If you go and you look at the menu, for example, it may say something like fried mon calamari, like as a menu item or something. And so it can be a lot of fun to read the signs because the developers are having their giggles when they are writing them. But some of them are serious and they really do describe the things. I have a good friend that I play with a lot who actually can read the Arbesh, and I'm always stopping him when we're playing and asking him to translate signs for
Nice.
me. So shall we go to the
Be sure
guild
to
ship?
not introduce me to that friend because I might be tempted to steal him or her. I've always wanted to have someone around to do that because I never bothered myself to learn probably the best alphabet after my own.
It's similar in many ways. Do you use the Cyrillic alphabet?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean,
it may look similar to you. It's not really. Everything that's not your own probably looks the same.
Right. It's like accents, right? Like, they all sound the same to me.
Mm-hmm.
Should we go to the guild ship, or you want to wind up, or what do we want to do? Okay, so we'll go up to the Imperial Guild Ship, the Unholy Alliance Guild Ship, which is also publicly listed, and that is the Imperius.
Can we take stuff to go?
You take stuff to go? What do you want to sandwich?
It's publicly listed. If I like this thing or that thing,
public listing is only going to allow a person to visit. You can't and interact with any interactables, but you can't change anything. You can't destroy anything. You can't pick up the decorations unless you've been
Moxie
given
made
permissions.
the mistake of giving me a gold key, so I can do some damage.
Yeah. Yes,
I'm very destructive when people are not watching me. So tell Moxie, if he is not in the channel at the moment, to be very quick and swift with taking the key away.
With removing the permissions.
Yeah, you actually have to clean up the mess I've created on the Kaz City apartment. I think I left the two things there, so yeah, be sure to remove them. All right, let's start the tour because I personally think this is a very beautifully decorated guild ship. Of course, I haven't seen many of them, but it's still my opinion. I like this. Is that my throne?
Is that what now? Yes, that's your throne.
I don't know. It's too small.
It's actually the bus stop, but yeah, okay, you can have that be your throne. So this is the bridge. So one of the neat things we talked about for a second earlier about guild ships is that they are mobile. So why don't we come up to the front and you can demonstrate, because you do have a gold key and therefore the ability to move the guild ship. Why don't you show the audience how that's done? So you're here right at the I don't know, what is this called? The steering wheel thingy.
Main terminal. Command console, it's called apparently, because it says on the top flagship command console.
Yes, the command console, the steering wheel thingy.
Okay, fine.
And you can actually click on that and you'll be able to see all of the different planets that you can travel to. And so you can choose whichever planet you want. You see right now that we are in orbit above Alderaan, above the outpost Talaran. So you can choose any planet that you like and move the ship there, and it gets this nice little animation of star lines as we jump to hyperspace, and then we'll exit hyperspace above the planet of your choice.
And
So,
just because
pick
I'm
your fave.
mousing it over, if the planet has more than one landing spot, you can choose where you want to land. Like, for example, I'm choosing
Right.
Ilum. Can I actually move the ship?
Yes,
Will you guys
please.
kill me tomorrow if I move it away?
No, that's okay.
And
We've
I'm
been
choosing a
over
random
Eldon for a while.
location. Choosing one of the random locations on Ilum. Why Ilum? Because it's Vulkk's favorite planet.
Because it's Vulkk's favorite planet.
It's the
of course.
planet Vulkk used to spend most of his time when the bugged or broken PvP was pretending to exist.
Yes, open world PvP.
Yeah, that one.
So you saw the star lines as we went into hyperspace, and we came out of hyperspace, and now if you look at your view out the window, it's different because now we're looking at Ilum. So I think that's a really beautiful feature in the game, is the ability to, like, that they went to the trouble of making that like a visual thing as part of Conquest. So you can move it around as many times as you want. You can only use the ship to invade a planet once per Conquest week, which is from Tuesday till early Monday morning or like late Sunday night. So you can only actually invade a planet once a week. But for as far as just driving around the galaxy, we can do that anytime we like, and we can travel to anything that's available to an Imperial vessel.
And I should point out, in case someone didn't see, the moving ship expenses or cost is really, really low.
Yeah, it's like 10. It's
Okay,
like,
fairly low. Maybe to some totally new player it would seem a lot,
yeah.
but yeah, if it's on the same planet, it's actually 1,000.
So I just moved us to Jessie's favorite planet because I'm very competitive.
Voss.
So, nah, Korriban. Well, Tatooine
of course,
is my actual
yeah.
favorite planet, but Korriban is really beautiful to look at. It looks like Mars. So
It does actually, yeah.
doesn't it?
Good comparison. Yeah.
We have a game. We have a game. We'll be playing it this week on Extra Life, which is called Know Your Planet, because somebody who doesn't have a gold key cannot see which planet we just moved
Wait. Keep that for a secret. I will ask you about that in the end of the live stream. Let's finish the tour and then we'll talk about what's happening this Saturday.
Okay, good.
No, it's not really a secret. I just want to talk about it in one whole place so I can mark it in
You're
the
just trying to keep me on
timetable.
track. I know. We're going on Jessie, like, little side conversations. So there's a lot of things to explore on this ship too, but for those members of the audience who are still conscious, I'll just take you to a couple of my favorite places. So back here in the back, we have an elevator. Let's start by going to the crew deck. You'll see there's 4 different decks to choose from. We'll start with
How
the crew
many
deck.
rooms or areas are available in total on the guild ship? And just to point out, we don't have different guild ships.
No.
Wait, 46?
No, there are only 1 per faction. This is like a whatever dreadnought.
It says 15 actually here. I believe we can see that on the menu.
Ah, yes. I knew it was
expansions, 15 expansions, all right.
Yes.
So and it's still a lot.
It's a lot, and you don't just do it with credits. You also have to have command encryptions that you have to earn through conquest and things. So that's a whole nother topic, which we won't get into. So this is the crew deck. And it's got a couple of my favorite rooms. That's why I brought you here. It's got the medical bay. And so you can see that this is...
Why is the medical bay your favorite room?
Because
you die a lot in ops?
Like, look how RP it is. It's got
You're
like
a healer.
everything in it. Because I'm a healer. That's right. I'm a healer in real life, and I'm a healer in game, and that's why this is my favorite room. Thank you very much. But it's got all the cool stuff. Colto and medics and, beds and everything. I love it. It's my favorite. It's one of my favorites. I have a lot of favorites. And then across the hall from the med bay, this is another one of my favorites, and this is the Imperial Academy, or the Sith Academy room. So again, this was a blank, empty room with nothing on the walls, nothing on the ceiling, nothing on the floors, and it's been decorated in the fashion of a classroom. And I think that Salluk, whose stronghold we saw earlier, who was also the designer of this room, I mean, you could just see that he's just really good at this. I would never be able to do this. You saw my stronghold and how stuff is like sort of like randomy. So this is an example of somebody who had a vision and really saw it through. So this is our academy room.
Who designed the medical bay then?
Also Salluk. He did a lot of the rooms that we're looking at because they're really thematic and organized rooms, and that I wanted to make sure that the viewers saw. I did
I
the bar
don't
area
see any
'cause I'm
droids
close
around, so
to-
apparently these guys are not serving droids either. It seems like very popular in Star Wars.
They don't serve their kind. So a couple more rooms down here. This is the mess hall. So this is for, we're on the crew deck. So this is for our, the crew to come and eat and relax, have a meal.
If you had one more line of tables, I would have guessed that's Harry Potter's themed room. With maybe, what's his name? The guy with the long hair and the beard. Dumbledore, was he?
Yes.
Sitting here
Dumbledore.
and the head next to him. I've seen the movies. I actually never read the books.
We have
but
to make that happen now. It's a fantastic idea.
A Harry Potter themed room on an Imperial Guild Ship. Nice. I'll definitely come back again to visit it. These are the bad folks, right? The guys who don't pay rent or the guys who don't support the guild.
Debtor's prison. That's right. Every ship needs a brig, right?
Yeah.
So that's our brig. And then down on the other hallway, we're almost done, I promise. I just have to show you my favorites. Down here is...
The ones that we just saw were definitely worth checking, yeah. Good choice of which rooms to show. Obviously, out of the 15 available, we are not looking at all of them. This is yours?
Correct. This is my room. Yeah.
Has the exact same bed, I think, like in your private room.
Yeah,
on
I like that bed. This is my dressing area, like where I can put all my makeup and everything back here.
Nice.
2 jukeboxes because I'm a big fan of the music in the game.
One is not enough. Okay, I understand.
One is not enough. And of course, a bar, right? Because naturally there must be a bar in my bedroom.
Okay, you're liberal.
So that's my room. And then this is everybody else gets to sleep in here. This is the quarters for the rest of the guild.
Nice.
And
yeah, you can tell it's actually a group sleeping room.
Yeah.
What's the English word for this?
Barracks. It's barracks.
Barracks. Okay. Yeah.
Barracks. Right. So this is the barracks here. So yeah. Let's go to one more
That thing
deck.
above my head. Which part of the ceiling is decoration? Which part is a part of the guild ship?
So these solid, they like the red lines that are bisecting the room, that is actually a native part of the ship. The only decorations on that ceiling are those 2 round lights that you're looking at.
Okay. Yeah. So I thought.
Yeah, so like the neon, and the neon that you see like here, for example, that's part of the structural ship itself.
Okay.
It's got a very and
so
the floor here as well.
Once again, unlocking this guild ship only costs 50 million credits for the guild though. So it's easier to collect it when you have other people pitching in and helping and supporting.
For sure.
But you unlock just the main part of the ship, right? All the other 14 areas are extra cost.
Extra cost.
Nothing is ever free.
Together.
I suppose is what I was aiming for. But the thing
about the guild ship is it really does require like the efforts of many people, because you have to do get the encryptions in addition to cash to open the different areas. So it requires doing those guild activities. So it brings the guild together too. So it serves that function. Let's go for I guess probably our final area. There's a lot more to see. There's hangars, engineering. There's a whole other elevator, but we're not going to do all that today. We'll just go to the command deck because it's I think it's very aesthetically beautifully designed room. So you can guess it was not designed by me. It was designed also by our guildie Salluk, who has a decorating eye. And this has always been my favorite room here. I know I already said favorite like 3 times, but this is my favorite. So this large piece in the center is the replica sacrificial sphere that comes from Temple of Sacrifice. And you may wonder, how does the guild have a decoration like this? There's 2 ways that you can get decorations onto a guild ship. You can purchase them and unlock them as like by putting them into the guild bank, and then the officers that have the access can open them and place that, and then they're available to place. Or there is a functionality that came out about a year ago where we could start sort of like like making a copy of our personal decorations to donate to the guild without losing our original copy for a small price, like say 25,000 credits or 75,000 credits. And I
That's
could have
nice.
a really cool deco, and I could say I will pay $25,000 to allow the guild to use it too, and then there'll be a copy for the guild.
Wait,
So that's
it's
how we
not
were able
actually
to obtain them.
$25,000, right?
Did I say dollars?
Mm-hmm.
Credits.
Someone might actually get scared here.
Yeah, yes. So, and then there's many rooms that come off of this one. So each one of these was, it's each individual space, to open. So like you open the hallway, then you open this big room here, and then you open all of the little doors.
JT demands that you show us the council decoration.
JT is going to have to tell me where it is. Oh, here it is.
Yeah, right in front of us, actually.
Yes. So
do we have all the dread?
Yes.
Where the hell is Kefis? That's fake.
That's fake.
No. I'm not looking at this. There is no Kefis. Do you actually not have Kefis on an Imperial Guild ship? How dare you not display the god of Star Wars, the Old Republic?
I hope you're asking JT.
Is that Malgus to the left? Oh, that is my god.
There's your god. You can worship.
Which is really, really bad to say. I'm probably offending so many people who are actually true believers in real life, and actually shouldn't be really mixed up when you speak about religion in game and outside.
Oh, well,
But yeah, I'm obsessed with Malgus, and I'm really depressed for 5 years now that he's dead. Spoiler alert, I should have said.
Spoiler alert, if this is your first time tuning in. These decorations here on this side, they have all the datacrons on the table. Those are achieved by becoming a datacron master. So if you get all of the datacrons, then you can unlock this decoration. So that's kind of the cool, like, bragging rights thing to have, because you can only get it if you've done that achievement. That's an example of something that is a bragging right, because it's bound to legacy.
Yeah. One quick follow-up question for the council decoration.
Yes.
Because I've certainly seen it, I think, because I've done that in all modes many times. I don't remember what modes drop it, and is it rare or a certain drop from the last boss in the Dread Palace?
I don't know if it's rated as rare. I would have to assume that it is, because it's obviously a very valuable decoration.
JT sounded very proud from the, I'm not really sure if I would read it correctly, the Vulkk team. That's one of the teams from Unholy Alliance Guild.
That's right.
Apparently they've got that decoration from one of their runs. So, congrats, guys. And since this character is actually a member of the guild, thank you.
Yeah. There's some amazing things that drop, and there's statues, those commemorative statues, which you've seen. There's some in this room, and you've seen them throughout our tours today. Are some of my favorite decorations in the game, because they celebrate story, which is the big part of the game that is appealing to me. But like a lot of the different operations have them. Like you can get SOA, you can get Karaga, you can get a lot of the sort of the iconic characters like Malgus, Mandalore, the Avenger. You can get Revan, etc., etc., etc. Satil Shan, which was the first one.
I mentioned Malgus to the left, but I completely ignored the other legendary character sitting to the right of us. Shame on me. That's 13 years of gameplay, comic books, and God knows what else, and I didn't even mention Revan.
So I think we kind of touched the highlights. There's a lot of other things to see and talk about, but I think we've already doubled the amount of time that we said we were going to talk about.
I've just turned my eye to the second screen here. Yep, we're just about rounding up to the second hour. I never expected to finish this in 1 hour, simply because I usually start a live stream, with an idea of doing it for, let's say, 30 minutes or an hour. And of course, when I have a lot of fun, I prolong it and extend it. I would like to definitely say a huge thank you for you spending your early afternoon together with me and with us. I hope that this live stream and the video, if you're watching it when it was already finished, you're watching the recorded version, I would like to believe that this was useful to the new players, it was entertaining to the veterans, and hopefully we've all learned something. I know that I sure did, because one of the reasons why I wanted to do this, so I personally can learn and see things that I've never done myself in the game. maybe now it's time for me to start doing, because I promised I would stop raiding in 5.0 and I've already stopped, but it doesn't count since it's still 4.7. If I actually manage to stay away from raiding, which is not going to change, the same operations plus 5 levels, no new mechanics and nothing else, maybe that would finally give me a chance to feel the freedom and do more things with the game. Like, for example, leveling once again all the characters. That's a really weird thing to do since I have multiple of each class. But maybe getting into decorating is something else I could and should do. I have so many decorations laying around, from hyper crates, from achievements, from operation loot. I could have probably owned triple the amount of decorations had I actually paid attention to what I'm looting. God forbid, I'm sure I've thrown away some because they were cluttering my inventory and I didn't even bother to check if they're expensive to sell. Just threw them away.
Oh gosh, you're
right.
hurting my heart.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying this in the end of the video, because very few people will actually reach this point. Once again, thanks to the audience for us tonight, and I hope that you would accept a future invitation for something else that is your strong side, just like with the Strongholds, Jessie. It was a true pleasure for me co-hosting the event today with you.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun, and I hope it was somewhat interesting to other people, but even so, I enjoyed talking to you about it and showing off some of the cool stuff that people in our guild done. There was tons more I could have showed you, and lots of our guildies have amazing places. So if we ever do a part 2, there's lots more to go. But thank you very much for having me.
Well, I can tell you a little bit of early statistics. For these 2 hours, over 300 people have stopped by the stream, and the live stream actually has a lot larger average live view duration, which is another stat YouTube provides me with, which means people didn't just check the video and leave. So you have been entertaining. Thank you very much for that. I've chosen the perfect host or co-host for this live event. I have a lot other plans for future, guys, where I would need your help, because there are still a few things in the game that I'm not really that very familiar with, and it's better for someone else to explain them than what I could provide if I do it alone. And with this, I think it's about time for me to wrap it up. Thank you very much for staying with us. And if you liked the event, be sure to throw the like on the video, because that's helpful. And again, check the description below for things that you might have missed if you joined the live event later on. Well, obviously right now the description doesn't have anything during the live recording, but in an hour, it will be filled with time marks and timestamps for all the important things that we talked about, showed and displayed and discussed during the event. That's it from us. See you next time, guys. Bye-bye.